give without a care. Love you always share. Love you always share. Give without a care. Feel it in the air. It feels like Christmas to me. 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 It feels like Christmas to me.
Another round of applause for the OWH Jazz Orchestra. They did a great job. Thank you so much. Oh, it was wonderful. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome. Is everybody warm? It's a little cold outside. At least we had no precipitation, so no school, no snow day today. Darn. But, well, welcome. I'm Holly O'Neill. I'm the chair of the board of directors of Gardere MLK, and we're just very excited to have you here today. I'm going to put this mic on the stand so that I don't drop it, so y'all bear with me 1 second. This is our 26th annual competition, which is just amazing. So for almost, well, over a quarter of a century, we've been conducting this oratory competition, and we are just so excited that you all could join us here today. So thank you very much. I want to thank the DISD family that we could not do this without. I also want to thank all our friends and colleagues who have joined us here today, and importantly, all of our finalists. You're in for a real treat. I just want to tell you a little bit about the competition. We established this competition back in 1991 to honor the life and legacy of Dr. King. We started out small. We actually started this competition in our conference room. And we started out with just a few schools, and we actually started out with just the recitation of the I Have a Dream speech. Well, over the years, it's really grown, and I'm excited to say this year we had 121 DISD students participate out of 16 elementary schools. As our competition, as the competition got bigger, our stages have gotten bigger, and we were thrilled this year when DISD suggested that we have the competition finals here at W.H. Adamson High School. And it's a great facility. We were thrilled to be here. And notably, thanks to my partner, Steve Camp, I'm going to ask him to stand up, who is also the chairman of the board of directors of the Oak Cliff Chamber of Commerce, and his wife, Dawn. Dawn, stand too. We are sponsoring a $1,000 scholarship to a graduating high school senior from this very high school as a thank you for letting us have this competition here today. So, thank you, Steve. Thank you, Dawn. This is a very important competition and event for my firm. It's really become part of the fabric of our firm, and in fact, in Houston, we also conduct this competition, and they are having their finals right at the same time, and this will be the 26th year that we've also had the competition in Houston. So we're really excited about it. It's really a firm-wide endeavor, and the finals are always the most exciting part. So to our friends at the Dallas Independent School District, again, we could not have gotten to this point after 26 years without our partnership with you. In particular, I'd like to thank and recognize Dr. Nina Xhosa, the DISD superintendent. Dr. Nina Xhosa, stand. Dr. Nina Xhosa is going to say a few words shortly, but we really appreciate the support of the DISD. In addition, our gratitude is extended to all of the DISD staff, including Tanya Mayberry. Where is Tanya? She may be behind stage. She has worked so hard during the course of this competition, and as many of you have as well. I want to recognize you. I would really appreciate if all the teachers, the counselors, principals, school administrators, if you would all stand and let us recognize you, because it takes a village to get to here today. So thank you very much. Thank you for all of your hard work. And we certainly could not forget parents, family members, sisters. I talked to one of our finalists whose sister actually won 2 years ago, and she was, of course, encouraging her to participate. So family members, friends, I know you're here today, so you stand up because I know how important it was for you to be involved to helping get here today. Thank you. I'm going to introduce Dr. Nina Xhosa, but I want to tell you just a few words about, or mention a few things about his exceptional career. As you know, Dr. Nina Xhosa returned to DISD to become the superintendent for his second time in 2015. He has served in 6 public education systems throughout his 22 years as a superintendent or CEO, including 2 of the 25 largest school systems in America, which includes DISD, yay, and Cobb County School District in suburban Atlanta, Georgia. His career in public education, from teacher and coach to superintendent CEO, spans more than 3 decades. Based on his firm belief that education, and not just environment, is the key to a student's success, Dr. Nina Xhosa has led several school districts to improve student achievement. His track record of improving that student achievement in urban school districts has garnered him many awards and recognition. In 2002, he was named the Superintendent of the Year by the Texas Association of School Boards. And in 2005, he was selected Superintendent of the Year by the University of Texas at Austin. The College of Education at Texas Tech University honored him as a distinguished alumnus. As past president of the Texas Association of School Administrators, Dr. Nina Xhosa has also been named Outstanding Latino Educator by the Association of Latino Administrators and Superintendents. A proud graduate of Sunset High School here in DISD, Dr. Nina, okay, yeah, that's a little shout out for Sunset High School. Dr. Nina Xhosa holds a doctorate in education from the University of Texas at Austin. He has 3 sons, graduates of Princeton University, Harvard University, and the Harvard on the Plains, Texas Tech University. All 3 attended DISD for significant portions of their K through 12 education. And so it is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Michael Nina Xhosa.
Thank you very much, and I really like that, appreciate that introduction, and I love that introduction, even if I wrote it myself, because my mom's not around anymore to say good things about me, and the media doesn't always, so I had to make sure we take care of that. But it is great to be here at Adamson. Even though I went to Sunset, I was a teacher here for 7 years, about 40 years ago, a long time ago. So this community is very important to me and is very special. But enough about me. We're here to celebrate these wonderful young people and their families and their teachers, so let's give them a round of applause. But what about that O.W. Holmes Jazz Band? Dr. Browden does a great job, and that last singer almost reminded me of Erykah Badu. He must have brought her back and made her small, but she was phenomenal. Thank you for that. But really, we're here. This wouldn't be possible if it weren't without the tremendous support from Gardere. They've been a great firm in this community for a long time and a great partner for Dallas ISD this entire time. Their commitment is robust, and they're here, and this is always a very exciting event because of why we're here. to honor Dr. King and his legacy. And you never know what's going to happen here. Because I remember many years ago under Nina Xhosa 1.0, we had this event and we had a great speaker. And then that speaker did such a phenomenal job, we took him to the school board. And he did a great job in front of the school board. And then after he did his presentation to the school board, the next year we were going to have a convocation where we brought all 20,000 of our employees down to a reunion arena for a celebration. And I tried to get several of the prominent pastors in town to come give our convocation, but I couldn't even get a return call. So my staff suggested that we try this young man named Dalton Sherman from Charles Rice Elementary School at the time to come up and speak. And he spoke in front of all of our employees. And some of you will remember that speech is, "Do you believe in me?" And that speech went viral, and he went on. He was on Ellen, he was on Oprah, he got to travel the world. And that young man has ended up staying in Dallas ISD. He graduated a few years ago from Barack Obama High School and is now attending Pomona College in California. What a story. So there's no pressure, kids. No. Hey, you've already made it to the mountaintop. You're here, and we're going to get to hear from you. But it's really a great event. And I see Dr. Blackburn. Is that Dr. Blackburn? Dr. Blackburn, one of our trustees who's been with me this whole journey. And so let's give him a round of applause. I don't know if there are any other trustees here, but what an event. And really, Gardere has been a warrior and a champion and made sure we've had this at different venues, and they always do it first class. So I want to thank Gardere and everybody for such a great event. I'm going to get to hear most of them. I have to get to another event at noon, so I'll hang around as long as I can. But thank you very much. Let's have a great day.
Thank you, Dr. Nina Xhosa. Thank you for being here. Well, now on to the competition. This year, as I mentioned, we had the participation of 121 students out of 16 DISD elementary schools, all 4th and 5th graders. So ages 9 through 11. In fact, I know one of our finalists' birthday today, so happy birthday. He knows who he is. And we're down to the final 8. We had the semifinals on December 5th. Each school had their finalists, so we had 16 semifinalists, and these were the top 8 finalists. So very exciting. And I would like to recognize all of the students. If you're in the audience and you participated, you were one of those 121 students, please stand, because we know you worked really hard. Great job. Hopefully, if you're a 4th grader, we'll see you here next year as a 5th grader. So, thank you for all your hard work. On stage are our 8 bright and awesomely dressed finalists, as I mentioned. And these talented students are going to bring to life the teachings of Dr. King and his philosophy. So. They will be introduced here shortly, along with our panel of judges, who, by the way, have the most difficult job today. So, Godspeed with you all. Good luck. It's tough job. Our Mistress of Ceremonies is fabulous for many reasons, not the least of which is that she's an accomplished journalist, earning the prestigious Peabody Award, an Emmy, and 3 Dallas Press Club Katie Awards, and many, many others. Additionally, she is a go-to civic leader. Among her community work is service on the boards of the 2010 Super Bowl Host Committee, the Girl Scouts of Northeast Texas, the advisory boards of St. Philip's School, and the School of Journalism at Southern Methodist University. Her numerous civic awards also include Lifetime Girl Scout, the Women That Soar Media Award, and I think we can all attest to the fact that she certainly does, the Girls Inc. She Knows Where She's Going Award, and the Bank of America Local Hero Award. She's also an alum of the Dallas FBI Citizens Academy class, and she flew with the Navy's Blue Angels in an F-18 Hornet. And she pulled 6.3 Gs, and she promised she didn't get sick, she didn't pass out, none of that. So it's pretty amazing in and of itself. She is greatly admired by Gardere. She has been and continues to be the integral contributor to this event. She was actually at our inaugural event 26 years ago as our MC. So, and she has made almost every one of them since then. So she cares deeply about the students. And I think, as you will see, she helps put them at ease. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Fox 4 anchor Clarice Tinsley.
Good afternoon. How are you? Good. Great. Yes. It is wonderful to see you here at Adamson High School for the 26th annual MLK Oratory competition from Gardere. Let's give Gardere a great round of applause for 26 years. And you know what? It is fabulous to be in the community at Adamson High School, home of the Leopards. And I love this motto. I just learned it and I want to share it. All together, Adamson, learning today, leading tomorrow. That is fantastic. I want to also thank Diana Nunez, our principal, for giving us such a wonderful, warm welcome today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already done so, I need to ask you to silence your smartphones. Don't make them smart. Silence them, because we want to hear everything these fantastic scholars have to share with us today. As Holly said, we are so honored to have this distinguished group of business and community leaders as our judges. Each has received numerous business, civic, and industry awards. We're talking about leadership here as our judges and leadership here on the stage. You can read more about them in our program. I want to introduce the judges right now. And audience, I need to ask you to hold your applause. I know it's going to be tough, but I want to wait till all the judges are introduced, and then we can give them a great North Texas welcome, okay? Judges, I'm going to ask you to stand and remain standing as I call your name. First, please welcome Jason Downing, Managing Partner, North Texas and Central Region Marketplace Leader at Deloitte LLP. I'm pleased to see that City of Dallas Council Member Kevin Felder, District 7, is with us today. We're glad to have the Honorable Ernest White, Presiding Judge of the 194th Judicial District Court. We are excited to welcome Justice Bill Whitehill, Texas Court of Appeals, 5th District, Dallas, and welcome Michael Williams, President and CEO, Integrity, Innovation, Information. All right, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen. Judges, thank you so much. We are honored to have you with us. Girls and boys, all of our judges are great examples of hard work, dedication, and success. They follow in the footsteps of all of our past judges, who ranged in professions from astronaut to civil rights marcher with Dr. King, from business CEO to college president, from nonprofit CEO to journalist, pastor to professional athlete, numerous justices and judges from various courts of law. As they did before us, we are here today to tell all of you and you on the stage that hard work, dedication, determination, confidence, believing in yourself, and making good friends and making good choices will allow you to do anything that you have your heart set on. Believe it, that is the truth. And we're depending on each one of you because you represent our future. We need you. You are the leaders of tomorrow. The life and times of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., along with his teachings, have profoundly impacted our nation and continue to provide hope, meaning, and inspiration today. The theme of this year's competition is a question that each student answers with their own speech. The question is, what is your dream for today's world? We believe this question asks our students how they will continue in the spirit of Dr. King's legacy for themselves and for future generations. All of the original competitors answered this question through writing and presenting their own original speech, which you are about to hear. Each year, this annual competition starts at the elementary school level with dedicated principals, teachers, counselors, and of course, families. They help our students learn about Dr. King and encourage them to write original speeches answering the competition-themed question. Each student competed in the fall with other students at their school for the honor of sitting on this stage today. It's tough. It requires rigor. And the semifinal judges had to select 8 finalists from the best of our 14 schools, but they did it. Each of our finalists deserves recognition for the time and effort they have put into preparing their speech. We commend them for their research, their diligence, and yes, their courage, and for delivering their presentations in front of you, our esteemed audience, on such a big stage here at W.H. Adamson High School. So with that said, let the games begin. Our first orator is Marna L. Asawi. She's a 5th grader at J.P. Stark's Math, Science, and Technology Vanguard. Marna. Tech support. How's that for you? Is that good?
Good.
Okay. Welcome. What did you have for breakfast today?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A? Okay, what kind of Chick-fil-A?
The ones the little bread wrapped around the chicken.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Breakfast is good. It's the most important meal of the day. That's good to know. All right, traditionally, I ask each student if they want a handshake, a hug, or a high five. But because we need to be aware of our flu protocols, this year it's going to be the elbow bump. So everybody has an option whether they want 1 elbow bump or 2. What would you like?
2.
All right. There you go.
Good morning. My name is Marna Elasawi, and I'm in the 5th grade attending J.P. Stark's. And I was asked this very important question. What was my dream for today's world? And I am here to share with you my dream for today's world. My dream will not be postponed, ignored, or deferred. I have a dream that every race will come together into one big nation. I'm tired of hearing racist, aggravated comments towards other races. Come on, you can't do that. We are all brothers and sisters, even if you don't believe that we are. The only difference is the covering of our skin. When I shed tears, they're clear like yours. If you cut me, isn't my blood red too? I have a dream that these hurricanes, earthquakes, and wildfires will soon cease. I'm sure you're thinking, oh, Mother Nature did that. It's not our fault. But we must take some responsibility for the chemicals and pollution we release into the air and water. These things alter our environment in a negative way. Throwing Mother Nature out of balance can cause her to act out. All this nonsense the world is doing. Seriously, just cut it out. Nothing in all. The world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Our world is dangerous because of us, me and you and I, us. If we need a better community, then we need to work for it. We need to make ourselves more intelligent and passionate. Faith is taking its first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Now, I'm not Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. However, I have big dreams and even bigger plans. Because Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream, I can do more than talk the talk. I can walk the walk. My plan sees me intelligent, articulate, creative, and succeeding. My plan sees me being accepted to Harvard University, graduating cum laude of my class, as well as owning a vehicle of great prestige, all of which I will earn through hard work, staying focused, and contributing to my community. I have a dream to be a world-renowned cardiologist, heading my field in the excellence that was planted in me as a young child, you see, by my parents, my teachers, and academic family. My plan sees me growing up, mentoring young people just like me, speaking life into them, and encouraging them to be all they can be. Even in the world where innocent lives are lost, at the hands of people who lost their dreams, sadly somehow. For the dreams lost in Las Vegas, October 2017, those in San Diego, May 2017, Charlottesville, Virginia, August 2017, and most recent, Sutherland Springs, Texas, 2017, and all the dreams lost in the incidents between. Let us remember, as Dr. King once said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. We have to love. We have to pray for all the potential lives that have been senselessly taken away. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Do you remember when Jesus forgave his snitches and killers? We must learn to forgive, but we will never forget. I can hear Dr. King saying, peace is a nearly distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. We must remember that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Love is the only way of transforming an enemy into a friend. Forgiveness is not an occasional act. It is a constant attitude, one that this country must adopt if our integrity is to rise to a higher attitude. This attitude should be kept in our souls for years and years. If you can't keep it in your soul, then that is just scandalous and horrific. Dream with me. Believe with me. Ponder this with me. Sometimes you just gotta laugh to brush off your feelings and change the way you think or reflect about others. You just gotta smile. Make today so awesome, yesterday gets jealous. Sorry yesterday, but I'm walking out my dream for today. I will not give up hope, and I will not conform to all the negative things happening around me. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., my dream for this world has already started, right here, today, with me. Thank you.
Marna, thank you. Now we have Emerson Byrd, a fourth grader at Thomas Tolbert Elementary School. Emerson. Tell us, what's your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject is reading
Why?
because I can travel different places through books and it makes me smarter every time I read.
Perfect. Love that. Would you like 1 or 2 elbow bumps?
2. What is your dream for today's world? Thank you for asking. I am Emerson Byrd, a dreamer, and I dream out loud. My dream is to be part of America's dream. For some reason, it seems that my dreams, the dreams of my forefathers, and the dreams of people of color are not considered. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness seem abstract now. I am a continuation of one of the greatest men of America, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King made America recognize its shortcomings. Without him and the sacrifice of his life, young black girls like me would not have the courage to stand and express their dreams and vision for the world. My dream is to end injustice. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said it best. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Injustice comes in many forms. Take, for instance, the shootings of unarmed people of color. What about Tamir Rice? He was just 12 years old, playing at the park with his sister. The police thought his BB gun was real and shot him dead. Did he deserve this? Wasn't there another option instead of shooting him dead? I can name others, like Trayvon Martin, who was 17 years old, walking home from the store and was shot and killed by neighborhood security. Just this year, right here in the Metroplex, Jordan Edwards was shot and killed by police after leaving a party. He was a football player, an honor student, and a dreamer too. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. How can we stop these things from happening? Where's the effort to solve this problem? I hear the echoings of Dr. King's voice saying, now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Hashtag be heard. Education is power. It is the great equalizer. Injustice in education is real, and it looks like rundown school buildings, lack of funds, and limits to our curriculum. Who knew a social studies book could purposely leave out information about civil rights? Malcolm X said education is our passport to the future. We, the children, the future of America, are its most valuable resource. Hashtag all kids matter. I want to live my dream, America. I want us all to live our dream. The first step towards our dream is to follow the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. When we achieve this, I will sing from the hilltops about our great America. Until then, I will take a knee to acknowledge the injustice in America that hurts us all. I am Emerson Byrd, and I have a dream. Thank you.
Emerson, thank you. I'm pleased to welcome our next finalist, Assad King, who is in the 5th grade at William Brown Miller Elementary School. And I've got some breaking news about this young man. It's his birthday today. Assad, you are 11. Are you going to have birthday cake?
Yes.
What kind of cake do you like?
Red velvet.
Red velvet. All right. Well, from all of us, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Would you like 1 or 2 elbow bumps?
2.
Boom.
Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream that one day the sweltering heat of injustice and oppression would be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. He had a dream that one day the rough places will be made plain and the crooked places will be made straight. Dr. King had a dream that one day we will not be judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. I stand before you to answer the question, what is my dream for today's world? Although I am only 10 years old, one thing I have already learned is, before you can articulate an accurate answer, you must first completely comprehend the question. In my quest to fully understand what is being asked, I discovered that there are two types of dreams. One is images and ideas that we create while we are asleep. That means we have no control over it and may not even remember it once we wake up. The other is vision, goals, and hopes that are created in our conscious minds. That means we consider these things while we are awoke. When I think of the conscious minds of great dreamers and visionaries, I immediately think of Dr. King and these words he spoke over 50 years ago. Through our scientific and technological genius, we have made this world a neighborhood, but we still don't have the ethical commitment to make it a brother and sisterhood. His words still apply to the condition of our world today. Our world, our planet, is a neighborhood filled with homes that look the same or very different, on the outside and the inside. Each has unique colors and traditions, religions and beliefs, but different doesn't mean more or less valuable. My dream is that we stop being divided by those lines in the middle of the streets of our neighborhoods. Patriotism or peaceful protest, political or principle, gun regulations or Second Amendment rights, completely compliant or rabble-rouser. These lines are meant to maintain order, but they do not prevent us from merging. My dream is that we come out of our rooms and our homes and find gathering places. My dream is that the heads of our households will meet and talk to each other. I believe wounds can be healed and wars can be prevented by having a conversation, then reach an understanding. Dr. King once said mankind must put an end to war, or war is going to put an end to mankind. My dream is that we go back to the days of gathering in each other's kitchens, creating recipes to preserve our precious planet. This is the only one we have. Everyone will bring their own ingredients, tools, and talents, so we can stir up new ways to have innovative interactions. If we cannot cook up new ideas and eat from all the different dishes that are brought to the table of brotherhood and sisterhood, we will surely starve to death. My dream is that we use our bathrooms more. Use those toilets to flush down old policies and procedures, old ways and methods, old signs and symbols. Flush those things that cause fighting instead of uniting. My dream is that we hit the showers, clean ourselves up so we can look in the mirror and see the reflection of what Dr. King wanted for this world. A society at peace with itself that can live with its own conscience. We're going to experience some catastrophes in our world that is going to hit one part more than the other. We need to realize that the integrity of the whole neighborhood is still affected. My hope is that during those times, our humanity compels us to immediate action, regardless of whose house the crisis is in, who they love, how they worship and pray, or what they look like. At that moment, their lives matter. It is a human responsibility as brothers and sisters to make sure they survive that disaster. My hope and desire for our world is that you adults will sharpen your minds and soften your hearts. We need you to figure out how to leave our home better than you found it. Then my generation will do the same. My dream for today's world is that we all find the courage and wisdom to live like we understand the truth of Dr. King's words. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. If we do not learn to live together as brothers and sisters, we will be forced to perish as fools. Thank you.
Assad, thank you, and you all did a great job ignoring the bell. As your MC, you're excused from moving to your next class. Our fourth competitor is Wesley Stoker, a fourth grader at Harry C. Withers Elementary School. Wesley. How are you doing?
Good.
You have brothers and sisters?
I have one brother.
Older or younger?
Older.
How do you two get along?
Not very well.
How old are you?
I am 9 years old.
And how old is your brother?
14.
14. Okay, well, it's going to come together. It really will. And I know you guys get along. 1 or 2 elbow bumps?
2.
2. Boom.
This is my dream for today's world. In October of 1964, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The time is always right to do what is right." Today, in 2018, I say, now is the time to do what's right. We can learn a lot from Dr. King's words and actions. The year 1964 was a long time ago, but we are still dreaming, and I have a dream for today's world. I may not look like Dr. King, but I believe like Dr. King. I wish that all of our differences would be celebrated and that everyone felt included. I would like to see all people treated equally, feeling important and admired for their deeds. I wish there were no more wars. My dream is that everyone lives in a safe environment, loving and not hating each other. I feel like sometimes people don't try very hard to befriend people whom are different from themselves, particularly those with different skin color. Dr. King said, "I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear." I may not look like Dr. King, but I believe like Dr. King. Dr. King was a minister's son, and I am a minister's son as well. I can only imagine he went to church a lot. I know that the love I have experienced in my faith community has been life-changing. I think that sometimes we are not kind to each other because we don't try to love like I have learned to love at church. Dr. King encouraged many people to stand for what was right. We need to see everyone's inner soul instead of what is on the outside. My dream is that people would stop jumping to conclusions that would lead to quick judgments of others. I wish that adults could love each other like kids do. Dr. King said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." I may not look like Dr. King, but I believe like Dr. King. I wish the world was not so complicated. I think that all people need to speak their thoughts if something bad is happening. If I don't speak up when I see someone hurting, then I'm hurting them too. Dr. King faced many challenges, but he stayed committed to his work. I wish that we all had the courage that he did. I wish we would all be friends with our neighbors and see that we have more in common than we think. Dr. King said, "In the end, we remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." I may not look like Dr. King, but I believe like Dr. King. Like me, you don't look like Dr. King, but like me, you have the choice to believe like Dr. King. We can believe in equality, love for our neighbor, world peace among all nations and races. But it takes you and me to work together toward the achievement of these beliefs. Dr. King had big dreams, and I had big dreams too. I want to live in a world where people are not judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. I dream that we can live in a world where we can all get along. I dream that all people will be seen as equals, and that discrimination is not a topic of our daily lives. My biggest dream is that you would start today in joining me in sharing love. It's not hard. You just start with a smile. Thank you.
Wesley, thank you. Our next finalist is Kennedy Stone, a 5th grade student at L.L. Hotchkis Elementary School. How are you doing?
Good.
Do you have any hobbies?
Dancing,
Dancing? What kind of dancing?
everything.
Everything. Wonderful. Are you ready?
Yes.
I bet you are. Let's take your sash and arrange it. 1 or 2?
2.
Stand, support, and stop. I too have a dream. We all know the famous civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In his powerful I Have a Dream speech. Well, I too have a dream. When we turn on the TV or scroll through the internet, what do we see? We see violence and people not getting along, even the leaders. My dream is of a world filled with peace and people helping each other. Just as Dr. King said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? So really, what are you doing? What does that question really mean to you? It should mean peace. It should mean better education for young people. And it should mean a workable solution to end racism. I too have a dream. In my dream, all of the senseless acts of violence that are plaguing our world today will no longer exist. In today's world, it is far too easy for people with bad intentions and mental health issues to purchase weapons. My dream is a world in which people are not allowed to openly carry guns. A world with either stricter or more controlled gun laws. There are too many innocent people being killed. Just look at what happened in Charleston, South Carolina, Miami, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada, and most recently, New York City. In nightclub, in movie theater, in elementary school, even a church. When is enough? Enough! Families are being completely destroyed by inexcusable violence. We must take a stand to end violence now. The future of our world depends on it. Will you stand with me? I too have a dream. In my dream, the educational system in the United States will not be a fractured, fragile egg, but a strong, bright diamond, able to support all of the pressures thrown its way clearly. The United States is one of the richest countries in the world, but lags behind other countries when it comes to education and student achievement. I wonder why. Could it be that this country doesn't support or value education as other countries? Now, that's a strong possibility. I dream of a world that invests in this children's education. A time when no one is arguing about school funding. A time when transportation to school, school lunches, and school textbooks and supplies don't trickle down to the worries of small children. We deserve a good education so that we can get good jobs when we're older to take care of our families. After all, we are the future. I too have a dream. In my dream, I envision a world through racism and hate. People should not be treated differently just because of the color of their skin, their religion, or any other preference they choose for themselves. I dream of a world with people who are open-minded, caring, and loving. People who embrace one another's differences and beliefs rather than judge and hate them. Just as Dr. King said, and I quote, "I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war, that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word." Unquote. If everyone would just pause for a moment and truly think about the next person,
their feelings, their struggles, their battles, and not only about themselves and about their beliefs. We can take that first big step to stop racism and stop the trickle-down effect of hate to future generations. I dream of a world with no racism or hate. I, too, have a dream. The Declaration of Independence states, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I challenge you, take these words of our founding fathers and use them to guide your choices in life, to create a world with equality and happiness. I challenge you to dream of stand up for peace, dream of more support of our educational system, and dream of a world free of racism. If we truly are one nation under God, we must come together to better educate our youth. Come together to find ways to combat racism and hate. Come together to advocate for stricter gun laws. And most importantly, we must come together to love one another, protect one another, and cherish one another. I, too, have a dream, and this is my dream for today's world. Can we stand? Can we support? Can we stop? I, too, have a dream. Thank you.
Kennedy, thank you. Next, we have Skye Turner, a fourth grade student at Charles Rice Learning Center. Hello, Skye.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
What was the quality of your sleep last night?
I had excellent sleep. I went to bed at my exact bedtime. I set a timer to it.
What's your bedtime?
8:30.
8:30. Fantastic. Sleep is wonderful. It's restorative, and we want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
1 or 2?
2. 1, 2.
Is the mic good for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Skye Turner, and I'm in the 4th grade. For my whole life, I think I've known about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was a legend, a historic icon, a peace activist, and a gifted speaker. I learned about Dr. King through reading books at home and from my teachers at school. He continues to influence and inspire millions of people from all walks of life around the world. What stands out for most is his infamous I Have a Dream speech delivered over 50 years ago in 1963. Naturally, the adults in my life, my parents, my teachers, and you, the audience, want to know what my dream is. I'm not sure if people really want to know my dream, or is it just something people say to children? Or maybe they believe that the question will confuse me, but it really doesn't. If you really wanted to know my dream, just watch the news. I see the same problems Dr. King saw in his day: racial, social, and economic injustice. The poet Langston Hughes might have called it a dream deferred, where many have been denied the pursuit of the American dream. But despite these difficulties, I still have a dream. I have personal dreams, dreams for my family, and a dream for the world. My dream begins with every student having the right to good education. Dr. King once said that intelligence plus character is the true goal of education. It angers me when people laugh or see others as less than when someone struggles to learn. Where is the character in that? Dr. King said, everyone can be great because everyone can serve. In what ways can we serve those struggling academically? Can we take the time to volunteer or read to a child? But despite these difficulties, I still have a dream. My dream is extended to include world peace. One of my teachers gave me a current event assignment where I had to watch the news every evening. I wasn't interested at first, but then I started paying attention and realized that what happens on the news is major. People are being treated wrong out there. We have many challenges that will drive different viewpoints and perspectives. From Shelbyville, Virginia, to Dallas, Texas, some believe it's their right to hold others captive to the relics of supremacy through flags and monuments, while others say a person is un-American or unpatriotic. Those who choose to kneel in protest. As an advocate for nonviolent protest, Dr. King said that we are deeply in need, up and away beyond the darkness that seems so close around us. Are we operating out of love or fear? Can we come together in constructive dialogue, listening with open ears? But despite these difficulties, I still have a dream. My personal dream is to become a singer. I love to sing. I eat, sleep, and sing. I know that sometimes I'm keep nerves with my persistent, passionate love for singing, but I don't care. I am different. I am happy to know that in this country, we have the privilege to find our passion and to follow our dreams. Langston Hughes might have called that being a dream keeper. The dream keepers enable others to shoot for the stars without limit. They, the people that are comfortable in their own skin. The people that are okay with being different. We must stop thinking that everyone has to look like, think like, and act like us. Oh, how boring life would be if we all looked, thought, and acted the same. God created us to be unique. We are living in some difficult days. There will be many who may try to prevent us from achieving our dreams. We must think about what is best for the children who run this world one day. For we have not been given a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. Will you continue to defer our dreams, or will you become the dream keepers that we need you to be? Remember, no one has the right to take away your dreams or mine. So dream on, dreamer. Dr. King would have wanted it that way. But let me ask you, what is your dream for today? Thank you.
Skye, thank you. We are now down to our final two competitors. We have Keviana Warren, a fifth grader, representing Clara Oliver Elementary School. What is your favorite thing about school?
My teachers.
Your teachers. Why are your teachers your favorite thing about school?
Because they fun.
They're fun. Do you know they care about you and the other students?
Yes.
That's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. All right. One or two?
Two.
Two.
Good morning. My name is Keviana Warren from Clara Oliver Elementary School. I love to dream. I know that you're wondering what exactly is a dream. A dream is a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind while they're asleep. Just as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said he had a dream, well, I have a dream too. What is my dream for today's world? Well, I'm getting sleepy. Now I lay me down to sleep. Dream? Am I dreaming? My dream for today's world is for us, the future leaders of the world, to take more responsibility for our acts of violence. Our generation is committing a plethora of insensible violent crimes, such as domestic violence, kidnapping, homicides, just to name a few. Our celebrities and sports figures are committing acts of domestic violence. You know, domestic violence. And we continue to admire and imitate these unjustly crimes. Just a few months ago, an innocent teenager was kidnapped and found dead in our area. Her untimely death was senseless.
This violent act was committed by us, our generation of kids. Many houses near and far have been burglarized and victims found dead while only trying to protect their possessions. An innocent man was just killed in front of his driveway as he parked his car. His blood was shed at his residence. Another violent crime. We, the future leaders of the world, need to stop the violence and stop following those that promote violence. Here is where we must take a stand. I agree with the following quote: if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Let's not be a generation that falls for anything. We as a nation need to grow stronger. As a nation, we need to be good citizens and help one another to think before we act. Just as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, nonviolence means avoiding not only external physical violence, but internal violence of spirit. You not only refuse to shoot a man, but you refuse to hate him. I believe just as Dr. King, refuse the violence. We, the future leaders of the world, need to demonstrate acts of kindness and rebuke acts of violence. As I awake from my dream, the sleep ends, but my vision doesn't. My dream can transpire into reality. Let's make this land a better land in the world which we live. Help each man be a better man with the kindness that we give. I know that we can make it. I know that we can. I know that we can make it. I know that we can. Thank you.
Kevin, Jana, thank you. Our final competitor is Jeremiah Wilson, a fourth grader at Thomas L. Marsalis Elementary School. Jeremiah, do you have any pets?
No.
No pets?
No.
Hobbies?
Singing.
Singing? What kind of songs?
Church songs.
Ah, what church do you attend?
Mount Pisgah.
Wonderful. So are you in the choir?
Yes.
I'm in the choir too. But I don't sing. I know I don't sing as good as you do. I'm better as a blender. Can you be a soloist?
Yes.
All right. Well, you're going to solo right now. 1 or 2?
2.
Mike, good?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Jeremiah Wilson, a fourth grader from T.L. Marsalis. What is your dream for today's world? According to Webster's dictionary, a dream is a series of images, ideas, emotions, and feelings that occur in the mind during certain stages of sleep. As I reflect upon this year's theme, I can't help but to think on how we've been dreaming since Dr. King's speech in 1963. In just 2017 alone, we have endured a series of the lack of morality and humanity, ideas of war and separation, a roller coaster of emotions that make us regret watching the news at night. And although I may not understand the logistics of it all, I've been exposed to see the evils of this world. So pardon me, Dr. King, if I have a hard time dreaming. Protest, terrorism, mass shootings, racism. There is a lot happening in this world. These consequences are a direct result of us not loving others. And if the truth be told, sometimes we do not rightfully love ourselves. In 1957, Dr. King delivered a powerful sermon titled, Loving Your Enemies. It was, and still is today, a direct guide on how we can change our world by simply using the whole philosophy of love. Dr. King reminds us that human nature and the need for power disrupts the flow of unity. I, like Dr. King, believe that there are 3 basic practices that are necessary for the survival of our civilization. If we are to be the change we want to see in the world, we must first take a good look at ourselves and ask, what is it in me that makes me hate my brother? Now, Dr. King, that's a tough pill to swallow. We can always find a reason to hate. We hate the color of their skin, their religious beliefs, or the political party of their choice. But if we were to follow Dr. King's practice of agape love, we must choose to accept our brother's differences. If we are brave enough to love our enemies, our next challenge is to seek the good in him. Dr. King challenges us to recognize that the person, the nation, or the race that despises you still possesses qualities of goodness within them. And when we choose to focus on the positivities that lies within our brother, we begin to love him in spite of his faults. I have a desire to change the world like Dr. King, to love like Dr. King. But his last principle of love is the hardest to fulfill. He instructs us to practice self-control. And when the opportunity presents itself, never defeat your enemy. Now, I know, Dr. King, you were smart. But how do you expect someone to see victory over their enemy and decide not to take it? In his sermon in Alabama, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. tells us the story of Abraham Lincoln and the Secretary of War, Mr. Stanton. Lincoln was running for president and was advised that Mr. Stanton was going around the country talking about him. But when it was time for Lincoln to choose a Secretary of War, he chose Mr. Stanton because he was the best candidate for the job. President Lincoln had the power and resources to retaliate against Stanton, but he didn't choose the pathway of darkness, but a pathway of love. So, you might be thinking, well, what is your dream for today's world? My dream for today's world is simple. I dream a world where our men, women, boys, and girls can dwell in a place where love and not hate abound. I dream a world where conflict is solved through peaceful dialogues and not the acts of violence. I dream a world where we embrace and celebrate our differences instead of allowing them to drive us to hate. In the words of Dr. King, I, Jeremiah Wilson, have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I pray that you will join me in the quest of living out my dreams. Thank you.
Jeremiah, thank you. Let's give all of our finalists a standing ovation. Outstanding work. Nervous time is over. Congratulations. Now our judges, ladies and gentlemen, are going to leave the auditorium to start their deliberations. They have got a very tough job. Very, very tough. As they begin their deliberations, I'm pleased to welcome to the stage a treat. The David W. Carter High School Choir. Carter High School Choir is directed by Demetrius D. Ethley. Mr. Ethley studied vocal music at Texas Wesleyan University. The Carter Choir, under his direction, has sung at Disney World and on Channel 8's Daybreak. Each year, a choir from Carter earns a Division I rating in stage performance and/or sight reading at the UIL. Students from Carter advance to the state solo ensemble contest each year. They are that good. And students at the Carter Choir have made district and region honor choirs each year since 2011. Girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the David W. Carter High School Choir.
We're going to all sing the Negro National Anthem together. Lift every voice and sing. Would you please stand?
are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you.
AJ.
praise his holy name, praise his name. Oh, oh, praise his holy name. Praise him.
While our students are back, the judges had a really difficult, this was a long deliberation, by the way, over our last 26 years. So it was a tough, tough decision, I know. But one more time, can we have a big round of applause for the David W. Carter Choir? So I think the judges are on their way back, and Clarice is going to announce the winners. So I wanted to, before we do that, I want to tell you what the prizes are. So for all of our runner-ups, which there'll be 5, everybody leaves with something. We will have a backpack with a book by Dr. King, about Dr. King, a personalized plaque, thanking you for all of your participation, all your hard work, an Amazon Kindle. That's pretty cool. For the runners-up, which there'll be 5 of you, you'll receive a check for $100. The third place winner gets a check for $200. The second place winner gets a check for $500, and the winner gets a check for $1,000. So, anyway. And now, without further ado, I'm going to hand it back over to Clarice to announce our runners-up and the winners.
Young scholars, you were magnificent. Thank you so much for your hard work. We are proud of you. And we know that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would be very proud of the work that you've done and the stories that you've shared with us today. We are considering you leaders. We know you're going to be successful, and we are depending on you as you continue to grow and learn. Thank you so much. In no particular order, I'm going to name the 5 finalists, then I will announce the third, second, and first place winners in that order after each name is called. Please come forward to accept your plaque and backpack, shake our hands, and we're going to have a photo taken with Holly, Lisa, and me, okay? All right, here we go. Our first finalist is Marna Alisawi, J.P. Starks. Our second finalist, Emerson Byrd, Thomas Tolbert. Our third finalist, Assad King, William Brown Miller. Our fourth finalist, Kennedy Stone, L.L. Hotchkis. Our fifth finalist to recognize, Kevin Jana Warren, Clara Oliver. Now I'm delighted to announce the third place winner, Jeremiah Wilson, Thomas L. Marsalis. Second place goes to Skye Turner, Charles Rice. So that means the winner of the 2018 Gardere MLK Junior Oratory Competition is Wesley Stoker, Harry C. Withers. Do I turn it over? Turn it over to you? Yes. No? Yes? That's it. I don't think I have anything else, do I? We're good. Yes. Okay. We are going to, ladies and gentlemen, have our photographs taken with our finalists and our winners here on the stage and our judges. We're going to ask you to come on stage. We want to thank you so much for being with us for year 26. Let's give Gardere another great round of applause. Students, we are so proud of you. Thank you for your hard work. We look forward to seeing you next year.
And one more round of applause for our Mistress of Ceremonies, Clarice Tinsley. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Y'all make it so easy.
Thank you.
Will you just quickly say, students to remain seated? We'll call your buses here shortly.
Oh, and students, you can remain seated. We're going to call your buses shortly, so you can just chill. And we'll ask our judges to come on stage with us. Thank you.